Hi, everybody. Welcome to the
Hello.
Sisters of the Mystical Tarot. A big special thank you to Miss Diana Bowles for being our special guest tonight. And I caught her at a good moment over the weekend and said, "You want to come on?"
Yeah, right. Break my arm, Shari. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just had to twist it a little bit, Well, I have with me here Aley from Heart and Soul Connected, next door to me. Next to her is Marina from Heart Centered Tarot. Below me is Val from Dragonfly Crystals and Next Level Channeling. And catty corner from there is Diana from Oil Painter. And we're going to be here to talk about our goodies tonight. But I guess before we get going, let's say hello to a few people. I know everybody's trying to get used to us not simulcasting anymore.
Yeah.
It just got to where YouTube was giving too many people a hard time and they were demonetizing people left and right for it. So we think we found a fix to kind of protect our channels, but we don't know how well that's going to work, and nobody's willing to be a
Guinea pig.
Yeah. So I've only got a few weeks to go and I can reapply. So I've been going through all the stuff on my channel and deleting a lot of old stuff and changing things up and whatnot, just to try to clean it all up. And I don't know, we'll see what happens. What happens. I'm not going to worry about it. So I know coming up, same old for me. We got Golden Girls tomorrow night. We've got Polyterology Friday night. It's the first Friday of the month. And then, of course, Saturday night is the Night Owl Slumber Party, where everybody gets to hang out in their PJs and we just have fun. It's an anything goes show. And Sunday, I think it's this Sunday, is my monthly Mysteries with Amy, where we take a cold case and go with the flow. I even bought me a deck of cards just to do that show with.
Ooh.
There you go.
And so
true crime.
We'll
Here
see how that works.
Making lists.
Mm-hmm.
New decks. New decks.
There you go, a new deck. And I also bought me a bell so I can clear the energy when I go from one topic to another. So I figured,
awesome.
Trying to get myself a little bit more organized over here. I don't know how long it'll last, but I'm working on it anyway.
Well, it's a work in progress, Shari.
Yeah, I have been a work in progress since the day I was born.
Me too.
Sometimes I think the good Lord above just shakes his head and says, "I give up. Just let her go." I don't know. I'm sure that's what my mother thought a lot of times. Just like, okay, just do it. Just get out of my face. When I was a teenager, she and I were like, we locked horns many a time. It's funny because we were best friends before and after me being a teenager, but during those teen years, it was rough. Both of us too stubborn. So anyway, big hello to everybody who's here in the chat. We've got Mickey Taylor, Marby, Paula, Maureen, Aley, Tammy, Barbara, Linda, Three Shifting Veils. I love that name.
I know.
That you have. Yeah. And let's see. Did I say Tammy and Oil Painter? She's our surprise. And Teacher Barbara and Butterflies Are Free. And Linda H, Sandy, Chris, Suzanne, Shari Freeberry. That's weird because I see it and I always think, why is somebody putting my name in the chat? She spells her first name exactly the same way I do. There's another Shari that comes in our chats a lot, and it's E-R-I, not A-R-I. Yes. So I always think, did I mistype that? And then it's like, oh no, that's me.
Yeah,
because it's an unusual spelling. You don't see it that often. You know, it's like, and let's see, we have Elaine, Kimberly, Mare, Linda Kennedy, Elaine Rose. I think I said some of those already. Froxy Roxy is here, and Denise, and okay, I went all the way to the top. I think I got everybody. And if I missed you, I'm sorry.
Barbie Gangora. Hello.
I got Marby in the beginning because I started from the bottom and worked my way up.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go.
Let's see. Oh, Aline. I didn't catch Aline. Okay. Looked like she popped in after I passed up that section of the chat. So tonight's topic is, how do you mentor or counsel someone else when your own life is in turmoil? It's something that for those of us who are readers, those of us who do counseling work of any shape, size, or form, that's something you grapple with, because it's kind of hard to tell somebody else how to straighten their life out when you yourself feel like you're in a whirling dervish and everything's going to hell in a handbasket, right? So I don't have an answer to that question. I'm hoping somebody might. I mean, personally, what I've always done is kind of apologize to people and say, you know what? Now may not be the best time to ask me this question because I don't think I can help you. But, you know, without having to tell your whole life story, which I'm apt to do anyway because I have diarrhea of the mouth. I never shut up. As my mother used to say. It's the Gemini in me. I can't help myself. But yeah, I mean, it's a difficult, and I've known other counselors, professional counselors, who I've heard, you know, ask the same kind of question. You know, how do I deal with this when my own life is upside down and inside out? What do I do to separate the two? So, Aley, you're first up. I'm going to let you take it away and see if you have any suggestions, ideas, things that you've tried. And I'm going to mute myself so I don't talk over anybody.
So I joked with the gals when I first got here, and I said, Diana and I just take drugs, but it was a joke. Or I could say I get rip-roaring drunk, but I don't drink. So I probably have this happen more than not, because it isn't necessarily that I'm mentoring people, but I have to talk to students all the time. And I have that inevitable one student who just can't do anything without needing to spend 20, 25 minutes to ask me and go over everything and look. Like I've had them, they're supposed to do a rough draft, let's say, and then they have to pass in a final draft of whatever it is. And they want me to read the whole thing each time. And I'm like, and between that and all, you know, I'm stressed out, and I'm like, well, I'm sorry. Then they say that I'm too short with them. So, you know, I have that New England thing that everything is done fast. And a lot of people take that as too curt. You know, I can be too curt. And I feel badly about that because I don't want to come across that way with anybody. But when you're going through a really hard time, and everything starts piling on you. And actually what I just did, Monday night, Tuesday morning, was say, time out. I got to take time out. I'm going to lose my mind if I don't take time out. So most people understand that, because most people are going through whatever it is they're going through. But it's really hard. You don't want to cut somebody off or be really harsh with somebody. But at the same time, you have to take care of your own sanity. And so my apologies to anybody if I'm ever short with you. It's just kind of that New England thing that's actually stuck around and been the bane of my existence. But it's awful when you get a student who doesn't pass anything in at all, ever, the whole term. And then at the end, the dean calls you and says, you failed this guy.
Yes, I did.
I said, he did not pass anything in. And and she said, "Oh, well, you should have reached out to him to see what was going on." I said, "I did talk to him, email. He emailed
What
me."
are they in elementary school?
I know.
Yes.
Well, oh, I know it, but it's a business. You see, it's a business. And so finally, I said to her, I said, I just found out that he's homeless and that he was using his phone to write papers.
Oh,
He could have gone to the public library or the regular library, but he didn't tell me he was homeless. And I can only do what I can do when I know what I'm dealing with. So
Yeah.
it's
It's
that
not-
that frustrates me the most.
that seems a little out of the realm. It's like pointing the finger to make an excuse for what somebody's signing up to go do. If you sign up to go learn something, you better be prepared to learn it. And if you're homeless, you better find out what are the things I can do for myself.
Yeah. I said, I wished I'd known, because I could have referred you to different places within the college system that could have helped you with food or maybe,
Yes.
finding lodging or something. But when you don't know, what are you going to do? You know?
That's right.
Well, and
Exactly. Most universities have a
Yeah, that we do.
they have
Yeah.
like a food pantry and a
Yeah.
clothing pantry and all kinds of things to help
Yes.
students that fall on hard times.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's probably
And-
something they feel bad about.
Yeah.
And the problem is they think you're selling an education. No, the
It's a
student's
business.
responsibility.
It
Yeah.
is.
You know, it's
Yeah,
it
it is.
Have the
It's
stuff into their brain. They have to absorb it on their own.
right. Is it one hand clapping or are we working together with this? You know?
Right.
A-
Right.
And as far as your New England thing goes, you people up there are always worried about batten down the hatches. We got to get going. Here comes another
Yeah.
nor'easter.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't help
right?
it.
Well, there's an awful lot of tooting of horns when the light changes, and I had to readjust my whole life because here in Washington, it's against the law to blow a horn unless it's an emergency. But
Oh.
not in Massachusetts. It's like you pull yourself out in the middle of the road and you wait for everybody to stop so you can get out. Yeah, totally different. Yeah.
Like
And
driving to New
here
York.
it's like molasses moving through winter. It takes forever to get anything done. So
It
Yeah.
does. Yeah. But anyway, thank you for the question, Shari. And now I know why my blood pressure's high.
Yeah.
okay, Miss Marina, it's your turn.
My
Mhm.
turn. Well, I just want to say, Aley, I absolutely understand where you're coming from, and I'm a great believer in actions have consequences. And if I'm ever when I was working, if I was doing training or if I was doing anything else, I would always tell people up front what my expectation was. And this is what happens if you don't meet that expectation. So, just mirror that back to me. Say that back to me so that I know you understood it. And that was something that I learned as a young mother, that I had a stepson who was a little bit of a challenge. And I had a doctor say, well, one of the things that you can do is when you tell him to do something, ask him to repeat it back so that he understood. So by doing it that way, it gets them, they have confirmed that they understood what I said. So now don't tell me you didn't know. You did. You absolutely did. You confirmed. And now here's the consequence. This is what happens. Real life often doesn't give you that second chance. Real employers will explain it to you once, maybe twice. After that, it's no, you're not worth the money. We'll find somebody else, right? So just wanted to say that up front. Now, when it comes to mentoring or counseling others, or even doing readings when there might be something going on in my life, I think one of the things that that I am good at being able to do is to separate things in my mind. So if I'm doing a reading for someone, whatever is happening with me, it's like, you know what? People are paying for this. They're not paying me so that I can tell them, you know, what's going on in my life. They're paying me to tell them what's going on in theirs. So my life takes a back seat. After I'm done the reading, if I want to be angry, if I want to fall apart, whatever, I can do that after on my own time. Right. So I know that that is not the case with most people. Most people do find it difficult to kind of separate one from the other. But it's just I think for me, it's just a matter of understanding what my role is with that person, what their role is with me, and knowing that there's a separation between the two, right? It's like being I can commiserate with someone who is going through something that is awful, and I feel it. It doesn't mean that I have to make their burden my burden in order to be sympathetic. Do you know what I mean? Like I know it sounds kind of weird, but in my head it makes sense. Yeah, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. But yeah, that's my 2 cents worth.
Miss Val, how about you?
Well, I am not really one of those people who have wide mood swings, even if something's going wrong in my life. So I kind of stay pretty even keel, but if I don't feel good, I go do what Marina does, and I go ahead and I buck up. Somebody paid for something, and I'm going to say to myself, you know, I'm going to set in these energies with my client, and it's going to make me feel better anyway at the end of the day. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's just, maybe it's the way I was raised too, but I always put the smile on my face and present my self in a very pleasant manner, and I always have. That's what I do.
Yeah.
And so it actually always benefits me to go and do the readings. I've never canceled one for any of those reasons. And we're all going through this shifting of energy, and all this stuff is going on, but you still, you know, you have a client, you are a professional, right? You do what you do. It's pretty simple. It's not like even Shari going to the university, and you're sitting there doing your job. Oh, I don't feel good. I'm not going today. No, you get in the car and you drive there, and you sit there and buck up like an adult. And, you know, those are the things adults do. We have these things that we have to do, and we do them. And especially if you're working with people like you are, Shari, or any of us who are readers, you want to be the best you can be with that person's
Yes.
energy and help them the most you can. It actually gets you out of your own stuff, because you're
Yes.
all in their energy, and it lifts you. It's a good thing, actually. So yeah, so that's how it happens.
I have to throw in, I know Aley talked about a student with grades. In our department, I run the undergrad student workers that do the financial aid program. They work up to 10 hours a week, and they get paid for it, but it helps pay for their school as well. And 2-3 semesters back, I had a student the entire semester never showed up for his position with the professor that he was linked up with. Never showed up. The professor gave up after a couple of weeks and said, "Well, put him to somebody else I'm going to tell him to leave if he comes." And I'm like, okay. I couldn't get an answer to any of the emails I sent him. That was the entire semester. About 2 weeks into the next semester, after we came back from Christmas break, I get a call from financial aid saying that this particular student was in there wanting to know how come they never paid him.
For not showing
And-
up? Or
And I said, well, he never showed up. He never responded to an email, a phone call, nothing. I said, zero from him. And they were like, okay, thank you. Because every 2 weeks when I do their payroll, I put little notes next to the ones that pull that stunt and said, this student did not work any hours this week. And I sign off on it. So it's on their timesheet. And about a week or so after that, this very upset gentleman showed up in my office who was a fellow professor in another department. It was his son. And he showed up to ream me out for not paying his son for his work. And I said, well, in order to get paid, you have to show up and work. And he's like, what are you talking about? I said, he never showed up. I said, he never showed up. He never answered an email. He never answered a phone call. Nothing. I said, he could have dropped dead for all I knew. I could not get any response from him at all.
Yeah.
I said, so what am I supposed to do? And he was just like, oh, I'm sorry to have attacked you. And he left, so
Yeah.
At least the father had enough guts to apologize, but I still never heard from the son.
Well, you just wonder what that kid told his father, that his father thought he deserved that money.
Yes.
And
I
he
was
got
there.
so fired up that he was coming to my office, a secretary, to raise holy hell with.
Well, the
And
funny
I'm
thing
like,
is that the kid still had the mentality that the father's gonna take his
Take care
word.
of it. Fix it for him, right? Like
Yeah,
a
right.
fix it.
Daddy's gonna
Yeah,
fix it.
ticket or yeah.
exactly. Diana, what about you? What advice do you have?
Growing up a Gemini, no. I've like Val, I've just got this even keel, and I could give y'all an astrology lesson. You're a Libra, and Val, you're a Pisces, and another Gemini over here, and these are all signs that are able to conquer, and we're empaths.
Yeah.
And so just growing up as a little kid is like, where does my feelings end and where does the next guy's begin? Because right away there's a marriage.
Yeah.
And always talking to angels is always a plus. I could see them. The saint statues in the church came alive all the time growing up a Catholic, So as you go into adulthood, this ability to detach from yourself, which Marina has talked about, and the same thing with all of you, it just becomes part of the norm. And my troubles are not what they're sitting here for. If they need an example and I'm the best example, I'll give them the example. Yeah. But it's not about me, just as you all have said. So, and most importantly, it gets me out of my own crap.
Yes.
It's like, oh God, I thought I was doing bad.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, totally.
Let me walk a mile in your shoes.
Yeah. And you're right, Diana, and you too, Val. Yeah, I always feel, even when I'm approaching a collaboration, a live, whatever I'm doing, and I'm just not 100%. I know through experience that if I just show up, I'm going to pick up everyone else's energy, and I'm going to be so much better for it. So, yeah, that's
true.
It always feels better.
Yeah,
for sure.
Most times. Sometimes you show up and everybody else is in a worse mood than you were, and you're like, I should have stayed in bed.
Then you call on your Jupiter and you have a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, just throw it out there to the chat. Does anybody out there have any?
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. I mean, anybody's got any ideas, anything that they've done to help them kind of pull themselves out so that they could, I mean, because it could be a coworker, a spouse, a child,
Yes.
somebody at work, your boss. And I
Mhm.
mean, any number doesn't mean you have to be professionally counseling them, but
Yeah.
there's always that handful of people that you're the one they come to with every little problem. For some reason in their brain, they've connected that you're going to be able to give them the answer.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I tend to be the one that they all come to, and I'm like, I don't know why you're
Yes.
telling me this.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what are some of the things that that y'all are can do or
Yeah.
offer. Um,
Well, and
Yeah.
First one out of the gate is Roseanne.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just takes to respond.
Yeah.
But
you know,
never
the other
smile.
thing is you are a mentor. Aley, all of us in our positions, I was a teacher. So
Yeah.
it just goes with the job. Even when I worked at Lowe's as my second job, I was in the decor department, but I was also everybody's personal shopper because nobody under the age of 34 had any idea what a tool was or how to repair something or how to innovate. So before you know it, you're teaching, and anything that you are teaching is mentorship.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Exactly.
I
Teacher
remember
Barbara's
when I
a
worked,
good one.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Aley.
I remember when I worked at the bank, because I worked there when I was 25, and I have a really, I don't anymore, but I had a sharp memory, and I knew everybody's extension number. And people would yell across to me, Aley, what's bookkeeping? Aley, what's this one? Aley, what's that one? And I'd be like 341 731, and I'd be yelling, and everybody got so lazy because
Yes.
they don't need to ask. And I would
Aley,
tell them,
411.
Yeah.
yeah, call 911. I'm not going to do this anymore. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's funny.
Yeah. Exactly.
Remember when
Exactly.
411 was a thing?
Oh gosh. Yes. Yeah. Hello, information.
Yeah.
Oh my
Exactly.
gosh.
Oh,
Yeah.
everyone used to have to call the operator and dial 0 and call the operator.
Yeah.
You need to place
Yes.
a call to such and such and such a
Or
place.
the
and-
fact that we all know it's really a dial.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
we all do this.
We're
We talk
still
about
dialing
making a
in, we're
call.
pushing buttons.
Yes.
Most people today talk.
Yeah, it's not this. It's this for
Yeah,
us.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. I've seen some videos where younger people there is a phone, an old-fashioned, pick up the line phone on the desk.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you know what this is? Oh, well, no, it takes them a while to try to figure out what it is. And then you tell them it's a telephone. Oh, but can you text on it? Like, no. No.
One ringy dingy ding.
Dingy. Two ringy dingy. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Is this Denver Hoover? Is this the party to whom I'm speaking?
Oh, I love that.
Oh my gosh.
Hello, Mr. Beadle. Mr. Beadle, are you there,
Oh.
Mr. Beadle?
Oh my God, that's from our childhood.
Absolutely.
Oh my
I
gosh.
know, right?
Rose brought up, use the eraser end or an ink pen
Yeah.
so
Right?
that you wouldn't mess
Uh-huh.
up your manicure or break a fingernail. And that
Well,
was
yes.
before you got
They
press on
used to-
nails
they
or
used to
something. You had to
do-
grow your own nails.
Right?
Yeah.
They used to put a ball on the end of ballpoint pens for people to use to dial the phone.
Yes.
Do you guys-
I could use this phone when I was in Virginia. When I moved back here to Michigan, I have to be with Comcast. I can't get Verizon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I can't, they don't have a pulse tone for this.
Oh
Oh my
gosh.
But I have had the guts taken out of this so that it can be used like
Yeah.
whatever they call those things nowadays.
Well, remember when it used to be like an exchange, like Chesterfield 915?
Yes.
Oh
right.
yeah.
Right.
Come on,
Chesterfield
707.
915.
Yeah.
Yes. You even have
Yes,
party. I
Mo.
remember the day when we had
Yes.
party lines. And there's
I like
certain
what
people
Chris
on your
put.
party line, you know, you had to share that.
Yeah,
Yes, remember?
I know. My
Yeah.
grandmother would go, "Shh, there's somebody on the line." She was running numbers.
Yeah.
I'll take a I'll take a nickel on 135. She had
I
been
know
an
you-
original operator, nine, and she
Not
never
good
took it.
night.
You guys, my first job that I ever had, I was a switchboard operator at a
Oh.
hospital.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Remember that?
I get this
Oh
big
my God, that
switchboard
was
in front of
so-
me. Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
that is
was
amazing.
crazy.
That is
You want to talk
amazing.
about a job to make you
And you got to
crazy in a
connect
heartbeat?
all the
Try to
wires to
all
the right.
plugs and
Yeah.
wires.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, now you just pick up the phone and hit a button or
Yeah.
speak into it, and it'll take you
That's
to
right.
whoever it is
Yes.
you want to call. Back then, you had to go
Yeah.
through an operator who had to pull a plug from one end to a plug to another end and
That's
hook
Yeah.
it
right.
up to the right area. Yeah,
Yes.
it was crazy.
Yes. And if the line
Um,
was busy, the only thing you could do was call back later. That was it.
That's
And
it.
if
Well,
nobody
well, if
answered,
it-
it meant nobody.
If it was a party line, you're really
It's a
screwed
party
because
line.
you got
Yeah.
4 or you got 2,
Yeah.
and there's always
Yeah.
some busybody either
Yeah.
listening or
Yeah.
won't shut up. You know, they're talking to their friend.
Oh, I can remember many a time hearing my grandmother pick up the phone and say, "Would you get the F off the phone? I need to make a phone call."
And I'm old enough to remember when 3 people shared one line.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially they get up real early in the morning to run the numbers.
Yeah.
Wow. Did
Yeah.
you guys ever go somewhere so what you would do is give a collect call home to let them,
Yes.
and they knew that, and they're not going to accept the call.
Yes,
So you
exactly.
wouldn't have to pay for the
Absolutely. Done
Yes.
that. Been there.
Yeah, just a cue to let you know I'm here, I'm safe.
I'm here.
Yes,
I'm here.
exactly. You're not gonna it saved that extra money because I mean
Yeah.
you have to put money
A
in
lot
the
of money
phone,
for that.
and then
Yeah.
you got the money back.
Yeah.
It's out of the phone booth.
Maureen
you-
said I was a
you
customer
really have
service
phone
rep.
booths
Yeah,
anymore.
I feel for you, baby, because
Oh yeah.
I've
Uh-huh.
done that
Sorry.
job before
Yeah.
too, and it's enough to make you want to commit suicide.
And
Or murder.
especially when
Depends on who you're talking to.
and some people have and no clue today about what customer service is.
Oh no.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
None.
That's true.
None. And yeah, I had a good number of jobs that were customer service.
Yeah.
And you know, I remember having a discussion with one of my bosses after I had taken a particularly nasty call from a client, and this was in my banking days. And it was like, well, you know, the customer's always right.
Yeah.
No, the customer is not always right. And you know, I'm not going to pander to them. I'm not going to allow them to treat me like a second-class citizen or to talk down to me. It was no. That was what one of the discussions that we had kind of as a group, and there was a good number of people who, after I finished talking, went, "Oh yeah." I said, you know, some people bring you value as customers. Other people that are customers take away from your value. They diminish you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in that case, not everyone who approaches me wants to be a customer is someone that I want to deal with.
Well, you know, I
Oh,
used to kill them with
absolutely.
kindness. If someone was
Yes.
snotty or whatever, and they were coming on the phone, I didn't deal with people in person, but I would just kill them with kindness, and they'd be like, my approach softened them up so much. By the end of the conversation, they're apologizing to me.
Yes.
So I thought it was just a fun job to see if I could get them to get that way. I just loved it. I made it a fun experience to see if I could get somebody who's in a
Good
bad
for you.
mood. Yeah, and
Good
it
for
was
you.
fun to shift their energy.
Yeah.
man. I
Yeah.
had a good time.
Yes, Linda, it is. and
We
I
are
love doing it.
your therapist in waiting.
There you go.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Chris says it was the same with the Dewey Decimal System when I worked at a library.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. That's
Oh
true.
God,
Absolutely.
Dewey Decimal System. How does that even
But
work?
you know what was really great was you could call, hello, have you got Prince Albert in a can?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
stuff like
exactly.
that. Now they know who you are when you call. You say,
Yeah,
Exactly.
now you can't.
Is your
Ah.
refrigerator,
refrigerator running?
You
Well, you
better,
better
go down
catch
and
it.
chase it.
You call the zoo
Absolutely.
and ask for Mr. Lyons.
Uh-huh.
I'd like to speak to Mr. Lion.
Yes.
it's better than Mike Hunt when you ask for a
Yes.
Mike Hunt. Yeah, I know. Oh my God. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I'm not
you
trying to
call
say
the
that bad
hotel.
word, but yeah.
Yeah. You call the hotel and say that there's, can you please call? Like, I could pick up the white courtesy telephone. Yeah, there's
Right.
an important
Yes.
call coming through. Yeah. And it would
Yeah.
go through all the loudspeakers and everyone would laugh. And then,
Right.
yeah,
right.
whoever would make the announcement would go, oh, yeah. Oh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, Porky's. Yes, Jerry Lynn. That's
Yes.
right. That movie. Yeah.
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 Mhm.
But you know
Oh my
what?
goodness.
We had fun though.
Yeah.
Wasn't it
Yeah.
fun? It was,
I agree. I
Yeah.
do. I totally agree. It's like
Oh,
little
yeah.
things like that could make you happy.
Yes.
I don't know. It's like now it's not, you know, some of it though, I suppose was on the nasty side and some of it probably unfortunately was racist or whatever, but that's what everybody sort of just knew that then.
And
I
it was
don't
a
know.
joke, right?
It was more of a joke. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like everybody knew the Three Stooges in the frying pan was not a real thing.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
But Maureen had
Yes.
something.
Oh, Maureen.
Yeah. And okay. I can share this with you guys because the people involved are probably long since deceased, and I don't know that any of their family members would be able to put it together. But yes, in my banking years, I had some incredible customer names. One of them was Ima, Hore.
Oh,
Yeah. I had her too. The Horse Sisters down in Texas.
Yes. Another one. The first name was Mita. The last name was Ball. That's just a couple of them. That
Well,
know,
it's like
what were their parents on when they named
Ron. Remember Ron on Unconditional Love? He said that he was waiting for at the DMV, and somebody yelled out, "Mr. Foreskin, are you here?" And he said, "Oh my God, he couldn't hold it back at the time."
no,
It just cracked me up. Yeah, yeah. Oh my Lord.
yeah,
You know,
makes you
I'd
wonder.
change
what
my
people-
name, wouldn't you? I would not
Yes.
be.
Well,
Yeah.
there used to be a joke in the Upper Peninsula. What's your name? Ain't no shitsla. Ain't no shitsla. Ain't no. And so Anal goes, I'm going to change my name. What are you going to change it to? John Shitsla.
Oh my
Oh
God,
my
There's a
Maureen.
lot
God.
of Finnish people up there.
Harold Richard
And
Crack.
like
Oh
Roseanne
my
said, her
Lord.
grandmother would speak Italian, so the party line busybodies couldn't understand.
I love it.
Yes,
I love it.
yes, that was one way to do it. Yeah,
Harold
Yeah.
Richard.
yeah,
Oh,
Yes, that's what I was thinking. It's Ima and Uma Hogg. It's not the Horse Sisters, it's the Hogg Sisters. Yeah. Hi, I'm a hog.
yeah.
Maureen Tomico says she had a teacher called Harold Richard Crack.
Oh, I don't know.
I know.
I'm going to tell you this right now. I
goodness,
needed
Nick.
this more than I ever could have imagined. Thank you.
Crack.
Yes.
April Fool's Day. Gave him a message, Mr. L.
Never was to be.
Company.
Oh my God. It was for
Oh,
the
no.
VD. There used to be an ad. There used to be an ad in the United States that was VD is for everybody, not just for a
Yes.
few. Anyone can share VD with someone nice like you. It was a
Yeah.
public service announcement.
I
Yeah.
remember that
Number
announcement. I
for the
remember
free
that
clinic.
commercial that would come over. Yeah.
Yeah, it did. It was real.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Absolutely. There's-
And
oh,
shifting veils. Yeah, bravo. That's exactly right. When companies are caring about their employees and
Yeah.
making it worth their while
That's
to do
true.
their job,
That's
if
very
Yeah.
true.
they're caring about the customers. I mean,
Yeah.
you try to find a place that offers really excellent customer service. It's almost impossible to find a place like that.
exactly.
Yeah, if
Um,
somebody does that for me, I go out of my way to ask, can I, I'd like to, can I
Yeah.
send you something to this person,
Yes.
because nobody ever gets appreciation unless there's something like that. So
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Exactly.
you're
No,
using the
not
old valve.
Yes. Yes. But you know what? You're absolutely right. Totally needed this. Like
Yes.
this was not the direction I thought this
No,
was.
no,
going to
this
go in.
isn't what Shari intended.
This is
We
I'm so
hijacked
glad
her.
that it turned this way because I needed this more than anything else. 'Cause I
Well,
was at the point where I was like, okay, my week
Jupiter
like
is
just
in
started out
Gemini.
with
You're
shit
going to get a
this
lot
week,
of this.
so I need something to
Yeah.
bring me up. And so I thought,
Yeah.
well, maybe somebody will have a better idea than I can come up with. And y'all
No, it
did.
was
You made me
fine.
laugh.
No,
So.
perfect. Yeah,
It was.
no, absolutely perfect. And there's,
Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
keep up with all the stuff in the chat.
I'm right.
yeah, I know.
I was trying to
know.
put
Mostly.
everybody's comments up and I would miss them.
I got to tell Maureen D'Amico, yes, I miss Wegmans. In Virginia, we have Wegmans.
Yeah.
I miss them.
Uh-huh.
Because Kroger ain't cutting it like the old days.
Well, Shari, I think I shared this with you before, but when I lived in Texas and I drove across Louisiana to go to Florida and back with my kids, we're driving along in the van and there's this big billboard that comes up and it's Bubba Oustelet Chevrolet. And my kid, we almost peed our pants. Well, I know they call guys Bubba a lot in Louisiana,
Yes.
but it was just, to me, it was like, oh my God. And we couldn't stop crying every time we went that way.
Oh, that's not like officially on birth certificates down here. Bubba.
I know, they
Bubba,
have
their real
Bubba.
name.
Yes, they do. They
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That just reminded me of being in the South, and for the first time ever, I saw the Piggly Wiggly.
Oh,
I laid down on that.
the Piggly Wiggly.
I
Yeah.
got down and laughed till I was just
My
crying,
husband used to
sobbing,
call it the Piggy
laughing
Wiggies.
so hard. Think of the name in grocery store, Piggly Wiggly. But I
Piggly
told
I
we
you,
thought
still
that
got
was
one.
just a joke. On
No,
It was
No,
real.
it's a real,
in
it's a real
Enterprise,
store.
Alabama.
We got
Uh-huh.
one not
There
far
it
from where I live.
was,
There's a Piggly Wiggly.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to go drive by and take a picture of the
I cried.
store
I
and
laughed
There you
so
go.
post
hard.
it for y'all.
yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
I mean, that is just an
Oh, my
unfortunate
goodness.
name for a grocery store.
It is.
I mean,
It is.
really
No,
is.
it reminds me of my aunt when she lived in Florida, and she was always this larger than life person, and she'd say things like, "So I told Tom that we were going to go to the Piggly Wiggly and get some beef or whatever, and I can hear her. She's been
Yes.
dead for many, many years, and I still hear her.
Yes.
Yep, you have them there, Christine? Yep, I bet you do.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
that's funny.
totally.
My husband used to call it Piggy Wiggy.
Mrs. No Complaint.
Oh my
God!
God, Mickey!
Don't see what Mickey put.
No, I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah, I would learn that way.
Oh my God.
Oh, Mickey,
Yeah.
I can understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. There are some names, no matter how much you
No.
can't. You
Do you ever
cannot.
figure
It's
out why
like,
people name their kid
Well,
like
Doug,
John
you know, take
Johnson
my
and Dick
name and
Dixon
scroll
and
down and we'll start a new
Yes.
trend, you know.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
an unfortunate. Or Pete Peterson. That's an
what is the deal with that?
Well,
Dick Dickerson.
right?
Steve
Yes.
Stevenson. Yeah, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
names
Oh,
just need to go
we
away.
got people down here that if you looked at it, it says Richard, but it's pronounced because of the Cajun French, Richard Richard.
Richard. Yeah.
Right.
It's two different names. And it's like the first time I saw it when we first moved back to Louisiana years ago, and I got a job, and I'm like, Richard? And everybody's laughing at me saying, no, it's Richard. I went,
Yeah.
Richard? They're like, no, it's Richard Richard.
Got the wrong
I'm like,
percent
okay,
on
I'm
it.
Cajun, but I don't remember anybody in my family calling anybody Richard Richard. I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
that's
You could call him
ridiculous.
Richard to the second power.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Oh gosh.
Oh, Louise, that is a hoot. T-shirts with the face on the front and the butt on the back.
Oh
I'm
my
telling
God.
you, this is
They
what I'm
still
talking-
have
it's an
some of them that wear
unfortunate
those
name for a
shirts.
store.
Well, and not only
They still have employees that wear shirts like this.
That's really
right, and
Yeah.
society was so accepting and so
Yeah.
funny back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've
You
lost
didn't
their
take
humor.
things that way. You didn't take
No.
things that was
No.
dirty. Well, my parents had they're Alice and Don Crooker, and they had AC and DC on their plate. They did for years. For
Oh,
years.
they were so famous.
Yeah.
And people would look at them because, you know, my mother and father
Thunder!
didn't. Well, it wasn't even that AC and DC. It really just was like, that
Yeah.
means you go both ways. You know?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was,
Yes.
never a problem in the 60s, but boy, by the 70s, it was a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that band didn't help matters much.
That's true.
Yes.
Thunder.
Oh,
The kid was his nickname. Oh dear.
Yep. I believe it.
what if that was your real name?
Uh,
I would change my name. I would. Yeah.
Mr. Head.
Well,
Yes.
it's- sometimes you can leave the first name; it's the last name, like Schnitzler or Head.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No come, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Lima.
Lima.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Lima bean. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. So lima bean. What am I saying?
there was when I first
Lima
moved
bean.
to Arizona, in Scottsdale. We used to call it Snotsdale because that's where all the rich people live, was in
Right.
Scottsdale. There was this place in the first, it was like a little, mom and pop hot dog stand place. And the first time I drove by it, I nearly wrecked the car. I started laughing so hard because it was Long Dong's hot
Yeah.
dogs. And it was
Yeah.
like, what
Yeah.
did I just see? And that was
Yeah.
the guy's name. Long Dong was his name, but he sold hot dogs. I was like,
Yeah.
that's just too freaking funny. Oh my God.
But Don in
Um,
Chinese is a very common name.
Yeah, it's like
So
Smith
they
here.
didn't realize that in English, that's
Yeah.
kind of a
Yeah.
So you see Don a lot for
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh,
Oh my God.
so
That reminds
y'all.
me of the all-day
I needed
buffet
to laugh tonight.
at the Chinese restaurant, the all-day buffet.
Yeah.
You come, you eat, you leave.
Yeah.
You're not sit here all day and eat, and,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh my.
Yep.
Don't
Yeah.
forget,
That
Sherry, we
kind
got to do a reading tonight. We have one reading.
That's right. We have one reading to do, and that was for
Teacher Barb.
Teacher Barbara.
Teacher Barbara. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're at 50 minutes, so that ought to work just about right. We can
Long duck.
each do a reading and long duck
Long
dong.
Yeah.
Long drawn over.
Oh, yeah. It,
Now, what
it's
was-
funny that a lot of the foreign sounding names, especially like the Asian names that we laugh at. And I often
Yeah.
wonder, what about
Yeah, I
some
know.
of our names?
Oh, they
What
laugh.
do they
They're
mean over
terrible.
there?
They
Yeah.
laugh like heck at some of ours because they mean dirty words. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of my students said one day that there was a guy in front of him with a tattoo in Chinese on it.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, what's your tattoo say?" Because he could read Chinese, and it was like strength or big guy or whatever. And it wasn't. It was like succulent pig or some crazy thing that wasn't what it really was.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow.
Did the student tell the guy?
No, he didn't bother to tell the guy because what could he do, right? Yeah.
you
Right.
can't do anything
Yeah,
about
Take
that.
that guy with him and have it made right.
Well, that's true. I think it was funny for him.
Oh,
He-
yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
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 It
So,
seems to me
Barbara?
it's gonna have something
Strength
like a
and
tattoo
ingenuity. Yeah. No, it doesn't.
put on your body that's permanent in
Yeah.
another language. You should have somebody with you that you
You
trust
should.
that speaks
Yeah.
and reads that language to know if they're doing it right. I mean,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So Barbara
Oh,
says her husband's in the hospital and he might lose his foot, and she's asking if we can do a reading on that, I think, Shari. But I don't have it written down,
Right.
so I'm sorry.
I didn't have it written down either, but
Okay.
that sounds right.
Okay.
He might lose his foot, she said.
Oh,
So,
honey, that's awful. Yeah. Yeah.
So if anybody's ready, they can go ahead and go. I'm still sucking loose.
All right. So Barbara, I know that you don't want your husband to lose his foot, and I'm sorry that he's in the hospital, but I also know that recently he's been the bane of your existence, and so he's a diabetic. Yeah. I get boundaries. You may have to set some boundaries with him if either way, if he comes out of the hospital. If he loses his foot, that's going to make it a lot harder for you to have. It might be that you'll have to have somebody come in and help you, some kind of outside. Yeah, that's what I get, Barb.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I get the hangman. Yeah, looking at things from a different perspective. And it may, this could, if he does have to lose his foot, this could be what he needs to make him pay attention. Although for some reason, I think that if that was the case, my feeling is that he would find a way to make you responsible for that. He would find a way to kind of throw it back on you. If you had bothered to, feed me better food, if you had done this, or if you had done, I wouldn't be in this position.
Yeah, he is stubborn.
Yeah. So you can, it's not your worry. It's his worry to deal with, right? Remember what I said initially about the actions have consequences?
Yeah, they do. If you don't take care of yourself.
Yeah. This is something that's been brewing for a long time, right?
Yeah.
This is Sarah and the brew for a year and a day. Well, of course, for you, it's been going on for all your married life. It just continued to get worse. So because he is in the hospital, you have a little calm, but it is all very complicated. So the patience that is needed, this is you. And he's, the female praying mantis eats its mate. We know that. And that's how he sees you. You've taken my youth. You've stolen everything away from me. But this is you. Another stillness card. You know the truth of the matter. And all I can say is that God love you, because
Yeah.
in the end, it's going to be you who's taking care of him. And that's when he's finally going to listen. When there's, sorry, my camera does this all on its own. It's the Three of Pentacles. And you'll be the star, but he'll be so sick by then. You know, it'll just be gratitude afterwards that you will get from him. Sometimes that's what it takes for them to give it back to you.
Yeah.
As I experienced similar things.
Yeah.
We probably all have. Sorry for going on.
No, that's okay. Val, you ready?
Okay, well, with all that having been said, now I kind of understand why I have this card. And this is from the Archangel Michael Sword of Light deck. It says, be the real you. Your greatest power comes from being who you truly are. Don't let anyone sway you from expressing your authentic self. And along with that, letting go of the past, it's time to envision a new story, and there is hope ahead. So all of this is a message about not standing in the shadow of someone. And so
Oh, absolutely. This is on the bottom of the deck.
yeah. Yeah.
Your strength, your gratitude for
Yes.
breath.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I pulled an oracle, and then I pulled a tarot just to kind of clarify it. The one I pulled is higher power. But when I looked at it for protection message, because that's what we're asking for, is protection for your spouse. And it says, now's the time to examine what he's giving his energy and attention to. What is he, what are some of the resentments or some of the failed expectations that he's had in life that have kind of twisted him around on how he's approaching things? And wouldn't this be just like spirit to try to get somebody to stop, pay attention to what's being said, by literally stopping them in their tracks with something like, you might lose your foot,
If you don't listen and you don't listen and you
it's
don't
a hell of a lot
listen,
better than losing your life. It's
Yeah.
trying to get them to understand that.
they always
And then
say
I
they'll hit
drew,
you in the head with a frying pan if you don't listen at the end.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Okay.
and then I pulled the Knight of Wands reversed. And so that's talking about scattered energy. He's
Yeah.
a lot of
angry at
frustrations.
himself, and he's going to
He's
take
very
it out on
angry.
you.
Yeah,
It's
there's a
that
lot of
it's
anger.
that self-loathing narcissist
Yeah.
that he carries in him
Mhm.
that he takes out on you, because it's everybody else's responsibility. It's everybody else that's kept him from doing.
Yeah.
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 And it's
when you
it's
have
hard.
a toxic system, and he's been very toxic, then the infection would be bad. He's manifested that in his toxicity, I think, Barb.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I got the chills on that, Aley.
Yeah,
Mm.
definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's exactly what I was thinking. It just,
Yeah.
you're going
I'm
to pull
sorry,
in
dear.
what you're putting out.
Yes.
It's hard, and certainly we're going to all pray for him and hope that
Yeah.
for the best, highest good of what's going to happen. Mainly, I want to pray for your strength of
Yes.
mind and
You,
spirit,
Barb.
because you're the one that's going to have to deal with that. I took care of a husband that was disabled for 14 years.
Let's
Yeah.
I mean,
Let's send the most benevolent outcome
Yeah,
to Teacher Barbara's
definitely.
husband.
Exactly.
And
So,
Teacher
And
Barbara.
all beings of light, please come forward to help Teacher Barbara's husband with his blood flow and circulation and everything that is necessary to for him to have complete wellness and health and healing in his highest good and the highest good of humanity. Thank you. Thank you.
Archangel Raphael surrounds you.
yes,
So-
absolutely.
And for him to finally see the beauty of his wife.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Perfect, perfect, perfect.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, Barbara, I hope that helps you a little bit. Just know that we're all here for you. If you need a
Mhm.
shoulder to cry on, you got 5 of them right here. All you gotta do is say the word.
That's right.
You know, and we'll certainly listen. I mean, you know, we've all got our own personal problems, our own personal demons, but it's
I don't have
still-
demons. What are you talking about?
Oh, shut up, Al.
Val's perfect. Val's all perfect. Yeah.
No, I don't believe in demons.
Well, whatever, you know, whatever you want to call it,
Making
I don't care.
fun of demons.
Challenges.
Yeah.
Challenges, there we go.
Challenges.
That's a good word. Means the same
Yeah.
thing in my book. So, you know, we're
Oh,
all
that's so
dealing
nice,
with that on
Imelda.
our own.
That's
So,
lovely. Yeah. There you
Yes.
go.
oh, there you go. Thank you, Imelda.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, that's very sweet.
and that's all we can do is just hold each other up, you know, and
Yep.
mainly hold you up, Barbara, to give you the strength to get through it, because you're going to be the one doing the heavy lifting here. And keep that frying pan handy in case you need it. Honest to God, you know, in the beginning of our marriage, my late husband was an alcoholic. Now, he quit drinking 14 years before he died.
Mhm.
But for the first few years we were together, he was a mean drunk. He didn't drink every day, but when he did, it was not pleasant. And I literally had a cast iron skillet. When I'd have enough of them, I'd hit him in the head with it and knock him out. Literally just bang and then just knock him out. Wherever he landed, that's where he stayed till the next morning.
Yeah.
I didn't even try to move him. I just leave him because I would be so mad at him by that point. I didn't care. I used to laugh later on and tell him it's a good thing you had such a hard head and I didn't kill you. I mean, I could see explaining that to the police, right?
Yes.
Right?
Pissed off and I hit him in the head with a frying pan.
There I
draw
was,
blood.
making breakfast.
It
Yeah.
wasn't any frying pan, it was a cast iron skillet, so it
Yeah.
had some heft to it,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, I mean, it's he's probably gonna need rehab. They may put him in a nursing home. Depending on his mental state, once they make decisions,
Mhm.
may depend on what kind of place they put him in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we were able to make you laugh.
Good.
This
Yeah.
laughter can heal
Good.
more than anything else.
They'll
So.
probably determine that you don't have a way to take care of him at home through his rehab, and he has to go into a nursing care situation because of that.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they'll ask about the home environment, and you're not in any way, shape, or form able to lift him or do anything
Right.
that's going on with that. So,
And yes, Chris,
Exactly.
we know that she also has all of you in the chat, which this community is beautiful.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, well, thank y'all for coming tonight. Thank you, Diana, for being my special guest.
Diana,
And,
I
great
courtesy to you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
and
I-
thank
if
y'all
I had
all
my
for the
skirt on.
laughs. Yeah, thank y'all
Yes.
all for the laughs. We all needed it, I think.
I think
Oh.
so.
We all needed a night of laughter. So,
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
and
Wandering
y'all
in.
all have a great evening. Look, she's already calling up help, so look out.
Thanks, everybody.
Good
So
night,
bye-bye.
folks.